E aí, Bis, a gente está aqui no Centro Cultural São Paulo, onde está começando hoje o Festival Mix Brasil 2014. E a gente veio conversar com Colby Keller. Você conhece esse nome? Provavelmente você não conhece de nome, mas tenho certeza que você conhece por outros motivos. Ele é um ator pornô gay e ele tem um projeto muito interessante, bem diferente, aliás. Ele está viajando pelos Estados Unidos e pelo Canadá com uma van que tem um colchão na parte de trás. Já está imaginando, né? E ele vai gravando o sexo dele com as pessoas. É bem diferente, né? Então a gente vai conversar com ele para entender um pouco como funciona isso e conhecer ele um pouco melhor. Afinal, né? Não é sempre que a gente pode estar perto de um ator pornô gay. Vamos lá? You have studied anthropology, right?
Yes, I have.
Why did you choose anthropology?
I'm fascinated by human beings, and we're kind of crazy animals, don't you think? And it actually gave me the most freedom of any discipline outside of art to kind of pursue ideas that I was interested in.
Anthropology helped you in any way on porn industry?
Oh yeah, definitely. Maybe it's about like trying to empathize with human beings and trying to think about like what they might need in that moment, and not just like what my partner might need, but what the audience needs, obviously.
How did you end up in gay porn?
Anthropology.
Yeah, really?
I graduated with an anthropology degree, which doesn't do much for you in the real world.
Yeah.
And I applied for jobs and couldn't find anything. Late one night, I'm like, I'm just gonna put in my application, and I really thought they were gonna reject me. So I was really depressed, and I thought it would just be like they would just like confirm how horrible I was, or how ugly I was, and then they said, no, we're interested in filming you. And so then I had a moment where I'm like, oh God, I have to really do this. I'm gonna fly there, and as soon as I get off the plane, they're gonna send me home, and then that didn't happen. So I'm like, well, I guess I have to do like a video, and then I'm like, well, it doesn't matter, because as soon as I do the video, then they're gonna kick me home. That didn't happen. And then they brought me back. I'm like a curious cat. And so I was very curious, and I haven't stopped being curious.
That's what moved you to create a blog as well?
The blog was actually originally started by my partner, who participates in Colby. He really thought it would be a good way for me to engage a lot of different topics that I'm interested in, but can't really effectively talk about as a porn performer. And the blog really offered me the ability to do that.
This project that you have filming traveling around the US and Canada.
Yeah.
And how did you end up with this project?
Colby Does America was kind of a way, it's basically just an excuse to help me raise money and to engage in art projects where I can get back to actually what it is that I do for a living and why people recognize me, and that's porn. And to be kind of very frank about that and have fun with it, and to engage other people and collaborate with people and travel the country. I love to travel. Really never thought I'd ever be in Brazil. This is an amazing experience. It's trying to accomplish all of those things, and hopefully some kind of art comes out of that.
Yeah.
And it's been great so far. I've already done 10 states. I raised a lot of money, but still not enough to probably do all 50. So hopefully more money will come in as the project kind of progresses.
What's the most fun part of this movie? Is traveling or fucking?
Oh man, that's a hard one.
Yeah, I know that.
That's a hard one. I don't know if there's anything that can beat fucking. But the traveling comes in a close second. Actually, very little footage that I'm shooting is sex. Most of it's like me in a museum, And then there's like the one night where I'm finally able to have sex, and I haven't had sex in 8 days. And you just see me being like,
How do you find people?
I did like calls asking for people to participate. And I've also just like gone on to like Grindr and Scruff and seen who's around town, and people know, like a lot of people know who I am, which is good because I don't have to do too much work in explaining, oh hey, like can you like show your face on camera while I fuck you and I'm not going to pay you anything, you know what I mean? And I want it to be a positive experience for people and something that they're proud of and can have fun with, and it can be hard to do that when sex is involved.
There's a say in gay porn industry that when a gay porn actor finish your job, go out and fuck everyone. Is that true?
Oh, I sometimes do that because for me, filming porn is not sex; it's work. You can have a scene with a partner who might not be attracted to you. Like a lot of performers are straight men, and I love working with them, but like they don't necessarily make me feel sexy at the end of the day. So like oftentimes I have to like go have sex right after I shoot a porn, just to like put it back into focus, like what sex is for me and what it should be. So I do that. I don't know about other performers.
The most memorable trip for you?
Brazil.
Really?
It just started. I met this beautiful performer, Gazelle, who works at American Airlines as well. So I walk into the plane and he has a seat for me in business class. Like, I've never been able to actually lay down on a plane. They're giving me champagne and scotch and food, like good food that tastes good actually on a plane. But I also went to Paris this past couple of months ago. That was also like an incredible trip.
In any place in the world have you suffered with homophobia?
I have a few times. One time it was actually directed at me. It was actually in New York on Christopher Street, which is like the gay capital. I had an ex who was very small and very feminine, and there were several times where like the police in one case like said some homophobic things. There was one time we were this is probably something I shouldn't be proud of. We went to go get a movie, and he's just waiting in line, and I was off to the side. She didn't see me, and this little like teenage girl goes up behind him and she's saying all these like horrible homophobic things, just like snickering and laughing and calling him a faggot. And I see this and I just like jump up and I'm like, I started just like running, chasing her, screaming at her. She was just like running for her life, like through the parking lot. And she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, I'm sorry. And then finally she runs back into the store and she's like, this crazy guy's trying to hurt me. And I explained to the manager, I'm like, actually, she just called my boyfriend like faggot. And so the manager went up to her and her dad walks in and he said, you're banned from the store. You're no longer allowed to come into this store. And it felt good because like the store was also acknowledging us and not these people that were committing this hate crime against us, really.
Where you can find the hottest men in the world and the size of the dick in the world?
Well, I haven't had much sex in Brazil yet.
You just arrived.
Not much.
I will give him my card and then...
So given my experience, I would say Spain. I think Brazil would probably beat Spain, but I've seen some like amazing, beautiful men with amazing, gigantic dicks in Spain. Everybody has like a 10-inch dick here. Like what's going on?
What's your first impressions of Brazil? You just arrived, right?
Just arrived today, this morning. It's hard to say because I've only driven through the city, so I've experienced like traffic. But Sao Paulo is beautiful. One thing that I was really impressed by was the graffiti, but it's not. It's a different type of graffiti. If the anthropologist in me is like, curious about that, it's very different than graffiti I've seen in the United States. I mean, it's a very dynamic country, like economically, and there's a lot of like disparity, wealth disparity, that is a little bit more striking than the United States. People have been incredibly nice to me, and Brazilians are beautiful people. The city is beautiful, and I really want to get out there and like spend more time. Yes, we need to redo this next week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Please read Viaje Be.